at the MMAcommunity.com. It's a boy Elias, a Spartan Theodorou, and I'm organic as fuck. Basically, we got a Q&A, and I can get right back into it. We'll start out with from the wild. Elias, let's get this out of the way quickly. What products do you use in your hair, and how many compliments do you get about your hair per day? Thanks, bud. No, thank you. Thank you for appreciating the best hair in MMA. It's not necessarily what you put into your hair until I get that fat sponsorship for this, and then I will be telling you exactly what to put in it. Until then, the more important thing is to basically only shampoo once a week. You want those natural oils to kind of like let it do its thing. And, yeah, that's how you basically keep the hair you can. And in regards to how many compliments, quite a few. I've even been cock-blocked a couple times with my hair. There were a couple of dudes at this one event, and they had girls all around them, and we were talking, and the girls were talking to us, and I was going back and forth. And then they started asking me about my hair for like 5 minutes, and the girls got a little bored and left. And I was like, well, guys, never mind. Okay, rinse and shampoo, blah, blah, blah. All right, on to the next one. From Slaphead Giraffe Podcast. What's up? Okay, so just how good is his friend and training partner Arnold Allen, or how good can he be? Luke Barnett recently said on our podcast he can go all the way if he wants to. Do you agree? Oh, and will he come on our podcast to talk hair and other things? We can talk about many things. Life how it is, how it should be. It's going to be stuff. Huge fan of stuff. Huge fan of this fake fern. But to get to your points, so Arnold's actually amazing. He's a southpaw. He's young. He has that tenacity and focus. This is my Montreal house, so I have a place both in Toronto and Montreal. I do much of my training here in Montreal. I divide my time. And I was staying in the dorms when I first got here with Arnold. And I can tell you he's driven, he's focused, and he's ready to kick ass. So he fights, I believe, in Manchester. He's getting ready. He is ready. And I'm excited to see him get his hand raised. Yeah, just contact me on the social internets, and we can talk about coming on your podcast. All right, thanks. From Psychotropic Wonderlust. These names are going to be difficult. Who are your favorite hockey player? Who's your favorite hockey player and team? Who wins the cup this year? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be completely honest. Here in this Q&A, we are in a safe zone. Not the biggest hockey fan. It could be because I'm from Toronto and I've never seen them win a Stanley Cup in my lifetime. It also could be because I'm in Montreal and I have seen them. So, with that being said, I got a couple buddies that are in the NHL. Delzato, what's their names? Again, don't get hit in the head. That's something we have in common there. But I got a bunch of friends in hockey, and I just root for them. I just want them to basically play their heart out and kick ass themselves. Going on. From the Wild again, hello. How did I score Diaz versus McGregor? I basically, again, there's a couple rounds. I don't know which one is the one that everyone looks at as the definitive aspect. But I think just being knocked down 3 times, it just showed for the most part McGregor kind of just outscored him. And it wasn't that he was outpointing him. They went balls to the wall on many occasions. And Diaz, if he had a couple more minutes, he might have finished him. But it's a close fight and sets up the trilogy. Thanks again, the Wild. From the ECC 170, what do you think about the minimum pay? What do you think the minimum pay should be for a guy in the UFC per fight? Would a salary between fights sound good to you? Of course it would. More money is awesome. Yeah, no, it's obviously with the big sale of the UFC for $4 billion, it showed that there is money in the sport. And unfortunately, I'll play devil's advocate first. Obviously, the Fertitta brothers, who were just bought out, they obviously put blood, sweat, and tears into this and the money behind it. They created it. The narrative of again, this is me playing devil's advocate. We built this, so they think they deserve most of the profits from it. Was kind of an old way of thinking, but that way is gone now because it's not them. In comparative, many other professional sports, they pay out anywhere between 40 to 60%, I think it is in the NFL, to the players. With that being said, it's also the big difference. They're a union. We're not. We're contract workers. So there's a little bit of iffiness in regards to potentially giving us a salary that might step into basically an opportunity for anyone that's suing the UFC right now to say, look, they are employees. Pay increases would be amazing. Now with WMME, someone like yourself who's done acting, stunt work, and is in a specific market can hopefully get those marketing dollars and put in. DC just got a full-time gig as analyst and commentator, I believe now. So yours truly, let's say, for instance, in the market of Canada, TSN, it's the one that's carrying it. They don't have anything like that. There's also Fight Network, so those are the options that could potentially happen. They have contracts with the UFC on a regional aspect, and now with Rory leaving, by default, you're looking at the top-ranked Canadian fighter. Default. The best 2 words in the English dictionary. Thanks. All right. From Super Dave, what do you think your winnings... Whoa. What did you do with your winnings from Match Game? For those that don't know, Match Game was a game that was played. What do you call it? Shoot. So Match Game, for those of you who don't know, is a. All right. Next one from Super Dave. What did you do with your winnings from Match Game? So, Match Game, for those of you who don't know, is a game show on TV. I don't know if it's still on. I'm pretty sure it is. But, yeah, I was a contestant. It was just before I went to the UFC. I had a broken hand. Not from a fight, but from a dance floor where I danced with a lovely young lady at the after party. And I was twirling her. She slipped and fell, and I went to go catch her, and I broke my thumb. Worst injury to date I've had. Because if anyone's going to ruin my career, it's going to be me. But anyways, with the winnings, I won like $3,500. And between that and the couple of fights prior to that with my Bellator winnings, because that was where I fought my 4th fight, I believe, I took that and bought a car. So it's always awesome to know that the car I am driving is because I kicked a couple of people's asses. And I also beat someone in a game show, so best of both worlds. All right. Rate them in order. Next question. Rate them in order from best to worst. Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire, Deadwood, Game of Thrones. Okay, so my probable top would be Sopranos, would be the best. The Wire. Breaking Bad. See, with Game of Thrones, I'm just starting to get into it. Love it. I watched like the 5th season on an airplane. So I watched like 4 episodes. I'm like, this is the shit. Like, sometimes you're the kind of person like me who's like, everyone likes it. Fuck it. I didn't say that. Well, I did, but now I'm unsaying that. And then Breaking Bad, I kind of just fell off. So Game of Thrones might go number 1. It's gonna be tough. Sopranos is the shit. But yeah. So far, Sopranos, The Wire's good. Never really watched Deadwood, so we're gonna put that at the bottom. And it's, Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. Hope that answers it. From Will This Work? How does it feel to be the most prolific Twitterer in the UFC? What's your biggest disappointment so far in your career? At what point and what prompted you to pursue a career in MMA? What's with you Canadians throwing extra U's in your words? Blondes, brunettes, or gingers? Well, to answer the latter, all 3. Why are we gonna say either or? I've always been a person, like, I don't have a specific type. I can find something beautiful about any type of woman. So the answer is all 3, possibly at the same time. And then go through it. Hey, thank you so much for all of you guys, for all just the grassroots aspect of it, like the fun we're all having together on Twitter. I'm talking a lot of shit, just quick with the thumbs, or I usually actually have about like 10 computers all at once and I'm plugged into the matrix. But and even sometimes some friends and I watch it together, and we all just jump in there too and just talk shit. Like it's a really cool thing that I'm excited to take it to the next level. I'm gonna start creating my own content moving forward. You heard it here. It's gonna be called Just the Pro Tip with Elias Theodorou, and I'm gonna be basically doing a pre and post mortem, and then a couple other news type television aspects. So I'm gonna expand on that. So what we've done so far on Twitter, I'm really excited. It's so much fun, and I'm looking forward to creating the next aspect. Just the Pro Tip with Elias Theodorou. Fuck. The worst part is I think I'm funnier than than I actually am, and all of you guys are nothing more than enablers. So the sooner you stop following and stop tweeting and stop chiming in, I could, get a life and stop doing this. What's your biggest disappointment so far in your career? I wouldn't say my biggest disappointment is my loss. But again, as cliche as it is, it's a learning lesson. I lost to a tough guy, and arguably, I think it could have been a tie, or potentially coming off the victor. I think it was a close fight. There's no way, like one of the judges gave me a 10-8 round, which was no way. At no point did I drop. I would say the most disappointing thing is kind of that I didn't have a little bit more breathing room with the UFC. I know I'm lucky. I jumped in there at 8-0. I won the Ultimate Fighter. I got into the Ultimate Fighter, possibly because of the hair and the isms, the Elias isms that you guys like so much on the Twitter. I can be funny, or at least a legend in my own mind. But it would have been amazing to do like a Asian circuit. I fought a couple times in Thailand at kickboxing. It would have been amazing to do some like ONE FC, do some Dream, be a part of past organizations and such. But with that being said, there's no real big disappointment that I've had in my career so far. The one thing I would say is kind of the difficult aspect is the transformation in regards to the sponsorships. Not having those banners, it's a hard transition. It's a new landscape. You got to develop the brand that is yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do with my Twitter. I'm very lucky to have amazing sponsors. Some are organic as fuck, like High Performance Nutrition and Fuel Foods, Tribeca Finance Corporation, and Mao Detox. Again, I say that, I put that in there because these guys are the people that have stuck with me through thick and thin, through my loss. You can really tell who kind of cares about you when you're at your lowest point. I'm really blessed to have a lot of Canadian-based sponsors who have been there with me since the beginning and believe in me and believe in my dream. And it's amazing to have like-minded individuals. What prompted me into MMA, to answer it, is I was enlightening the mind in university, and I thought the body should follow. And soon I realized they were intertwined. Unlike most, I don't have much of a background in mixed martial arts. I jumped into it at the age of 20, 21, and I'm 28 now. 28 going on 17. I'm a mature man-child. I kind of fell in love with the sport, and for me, it's all about the fighter's journey. I've been able to go to Thailand, Japan, Brazil many times, Thailand many times, Europe, and I can turn anywhere into my office. Anywhere I can train. I just need to be in shape and ready to fight. So hopefully that answers that. Remember, blondes, brunettes, gingers, all of the above. From Kelly. Elias, now that I have the ability to do these Q&As with videos, could you set up your camera near a pool and do one of those slow-mo hair flicks as you raise up out of the water? I have a picture. I have a picture of that. I do have a picture of that. If you don't have access to a pool, a bucket will be just fine. Thanks in advance. Kelly, be careful what you wish for. It's getting cold here, But we do have GoPros, so maybe I don't know. I was gonna think of a witty name for just basically being in the shower singing. Yeah. All right. But I do have a picture. I might tweet that sometime in the near future, and you're welcome in advance. Kelly has another question, or a different Kelly. Elias, could you show or tell us about your favorite piece of MMA memorabilia, along with a little backstory as to why? All right. I don't have it on me, but one of the I think it wouldn't be one specific one, but I've been to a lot of MMA events, a lot of events in general. So I have a lot of really cool guest pass, VIP gas. One thing that I think that would be dear to me in regards to memorabilia, it's more on the regional circuit. For those that are Canadian or know of the Score Fighting Series, I have one of the mics that was used for it, and that's where I basically got my start. The Score is one of the top sports channels in Canada, and we had a great organization held by the Score Fighting Series and the team behind it. And I think they have, in regards, they wanted to do a regional team, regional feeder league to the UFC, but this was way before Fight Pass, and Rogers, which is the larger one, bought them up and didn't want to do anything because they held the rights to the UFC. So it was a great sport event, sports series, or fight series rather, in Canada, and I'll always be grateful for getting me to the place that I am today. All right, jumping into the next questions. Knee Block asks, are you related to Theodorou? I don't think so. Maybe? I have a Polly Theodorou. If I am forgetting my cousin, I apologize because I have many cousins. Greeks. Yeah. From the Wild again. Do you think Dan Henderson will beat Bisping and win the middleweight title at age 45? Never say never. He has a win over him. He's the guy that, again, his record's not, as of late, not the greatest, but it's epic nonetheless. Like, he goes big or go home. That's Dan Henderson. And he's retiring either way. So what does that mean? A tournament? Elias swoops in to take it. 2017. Get ready. What was I going to say? No, it's an amazing story. Either way for both of the guys. They're both quasi at the end of their ropes. Bisping not anymore because he's the champion and he has this revitalization. But I've had conversations with him where he was, not like he still wanted to fight. His body was great. He just didn't know what the direction was. He was starting to get into movies, and it's just an opportunity to do that. But of course, now he's the champion, so it's madness all around. I'm just excited to watch it. October 8th, I think, in Manchester. Pretty fucking pumped. From PND, have any of the ring girls ever tried to get in your pants? Can either confirm or deny. But I definitely was wearing pants. Next one. Elias, what are your thoughts on early weigh-ins, and do you find that do you find they help you with your performance, and what's your walk around weight? So I'm now currently 217. I've actually cut like 5 pounds. I'm a big middleweight. The only reason why I don't fight at 205 is just because of my dimensions. I'm just not long enough. Well, I'm long enough, but I'm not quite tall enough. Like, you know what I mean? It's just our frames are different. I'm heavier than most. Like, I'm just as heavy as many light heavyweights. But with that being said, early weigh-ins, it just gives you more time, so I love them. It kind of takes away from the weigh-ins, but fuck it. You'd much rather prefer a great fight. And this just allows more hydration for the brain. And that's why some people get knocked out really quickly, because there's 30% of the water is in your brain. And when you're dehydrated, whether it's cutting weight or drinking, your brain's like, oh, we're dehydrated, and like flushes water down in there. And then water is what actually keeps distance between your skull and your brain and allows for concussions if you get hit. So, longer weigh-ins, awesome. Next question. What's the difference? What different about your sparring and how you fight? I could not read that. I'm sorry. Just in an awkward place. My somewhat jumble. What's different about how you spar and how you fight? I would say the intensity, what you're trying to go for. You always hold back a little bit because you're training partners and you don't want to hurt them because that affects their fighting career. So it goes both ways. Just turning up the volume. You're always going 50% in training and then just go for it. What was it training like coaching Thailand? Have any funny stories? TriStar is one of the best gyms in the world. Do you feel you take more from just being in there, or do you train in other places as well? How Greek are you? Do you play? Wait, guys. Another hair question. I also have long hair. Recently, my girlfriend told me I got split ends. I asked what I should do, and I don't even necessarily know what it means. What do I do, bro? Okay, there's a lot of questions there. Let's dissect this. First part, Cote is a good friend of mine. He's also the captain of Canada, team captain for Canada versus Australia for Smashers. Known him for quite some time. Not only in Thailand, I'll actually tell you one of the funniest stories how I met Patrick Cote. We were basically coincidentally in the same, I think it was for UFC, whichever one that George St. Pierre fought at the Sky Dome in Toronto. And it was post-fight. So I like people that were going in there were Goldie. Another funny story with Goldie, they forgot his chicken wings. So I was like, buddy, I can get you the chicken wings. He's like, what? And I jumped over when the pizza guys weren't looking, stole 30 chicken wings in a box, jumped back over and gave it to him. He's like, man, it was the day before. It was the day before the fight because he was offering me tickets. Did not take it because just like me going to Vegas, I did not want to go to a UFC event in Toronto until I was either fighting on it or they paid for it. So on the 25th, to digress, I went to Vegas thanks to the UFC. But no, anyways, Patrick Cote, he was there, and we ended up laughing, both intoxicated, and had a little dance-off in Pizza. So that's how I met Patrick Cote. And yeah, I'm Greek. Both parents are Greek. Dad's out from Florina, and then mom's from like Kalamata area. And in regards to split hairs, I'm getting to that point too. You just gotta get a little simple trim. It's not much, it's a couple inches, but every inch counts. And it just basically allows your hair to, it's like pruning a tree. You want to get it in, like it starts going ingrown kind of thing, and you just want to spruce it up. From the Jason, from Jason 73, would you consider a charity boxing match against the Prime Minister? Prime Minister Trudeau, young, handsome man. He has boxed a couple times at a charity event and knocked out a dude. So I would happily fight him, although we're not in the same weight class at all. Maybe I'll just use one hand. Jab, just a jab. But no, I'm a huge fan of Justin Trudeau, and I look forward to his vision and what he has planned for Canada. I voted for him. What are you going to do after your fight career is over? One thing I guess I can kind of talk about is the fact that I got a couple cool projects. Not only the content that I planned on creating, but also the kind of projects, or not kind of, the projects I have moving forward. After my next fight, I've been, seeked out to be a lead for a movie, and it's a comedy, and I'm really excited about it. I can't talk about too much about it, but not only that, I also have a TV show that we've already taken to networks, and 2 or 3 of them like it. We're still shopping around is what the term is. Still shopping around is what the technical term is, the Hollywood talk. But yeah, no, I got a TV show and a movie coming out after my next fight. I'm looking forward to put my effort into that. I'm not only the actor and the host in the TV show, but I'm also the producer for both. So I actually own a lot of the project, and again, it's not about being the face; it's also about owning the name. I'm developing the brand that is myself through Twitter and other things, and these projects are really awesome, and I'm really excited. The movie should have like a $2 million budget, $3 million budget. It's a Canadian film. It's again, compared to America, that's small, but to actually own part of it and then say that I'm a producer, say I'm helping with the script, it just puts another credit in my potential moving forward. Also want to get into stunts. I've done them before. I've acted in stunt many times before. It's always taken a back seat because of my fighting. It's my passion. But who knows how long I want to do this. I think the most important thing for me is getting myself fiscally put in a place where I am the master of my destiny. And what I want to do is about 30, kind of be in a place whether be around 30, be in control of every single facet of my life. I'm 28, so I got 2 years. Better hustle. Next one, favorite routine. Where did it come from? Montreal, I assume. I'm confused with the question. Favorite routine, there's a couple chains here and there. As long as it has bacon, I'm a huge fan. Throwing some shredded, sauteed onions. We got options, I'm saying. We got options. Who's your favorite female training partner? You can go in detail as to why. I guess over the years, I've had a couple of female training partners. One of the more just badass girls is JoJo out here in TriStar. She kicks ass. She's great, a great person and whatnot. So she lost her last one, but she's still on a tear. And I look forward to all her success in the future. And then the final question this person said is, have you ever been on a stool in between rounds and have a cut man do something that pissed you off? If so, what was it? No, I've been very lucky. I've only been cut once, and I didn't even really know. It was a surreal thing when you see your own blood. I remember this one moment where I'm at the cage with Thiago Santos, and I'm against the cage, and I feel the blood, and I see it dripping down, and it feels like it's been like a minute, 2 minutes of me just kind of just in this moment. But it was like a split second. It just time slowed down. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, moving on to the Wiz. Oh, I'm the Wiz. No, Seinfeld quote, but never mind. Elias, what is your the number one? What is your? There's a thou there for no reason. It's okay. I still love you. Elias, what is your number one key to success in MMA and in life in general? What do you think about vegans and vegan MMA fighters? Who do you want to fight next in the top 10 and why? So number one key to anything is just showing up. I started mixed martial arts late in the game at the age of 20, 21. I can't remember. It was just before or after my 21st birthday. And many of the people there were doing some kind of martial arts for a long ass time. Even my competition, the guys that I'm going to be dealing with in this top 10, top 15 thing, they've been doing it for a lot longer than I. Think of anyone, let's say, being Canadian, it'd be madness to hear a guy who never played hockey before. Sure, he got in some high school fights and, always went home with the girl. But it's basically, I jumped into mixed martial arts at the age of 21. Imagine if I jumped into hockey at the age of 21. Never skating before. Maybe a little pond hockey. And then at 21, showed up at tryouts, became right into the major leagues and was playing in the NHL. Unheard of. Pat on the back, Elias. But yeah, no, just in general though, with that, it's not about how many years I've been doing it. It's a 10,000 hour marks. I put more than 10,000 hours and I'm becoming that master of mixed martial arts. I think it's an asset. And what I'm competing in is that some people, when they are wrestlers, they get hit, they go right into the wrestling brain. Where a jiu-jitsu guy goes right into jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. I think when shit hits the fan, I'm thinking of all aspects, and I think that's positive. What do we think about vegans? Well, How do you know someone's a vegan? They'll tell you. I don't know. And MMA fighters that are vegans, all the power to you. I think that there's a reason. Like, I understand the need to do it to protest, I guess, against factory farming. The way many of us um, shop, it's not necessarily the healthiest. It's a very first world problem, is what I'm going to say. A person in India and Africa would not give a shit what they could get, as long as it's real food. We're lucky to be in North America and allow us to basically go to a magical place that you show up and you get any kind of meat you want, any kind of anything you want, vegetables, year round. So, I don't know, all the power to vegans. If that's what you want to do it, and I respect your right to do so. Who do you want to fight next in the top 10? Honestly, I'm not really set on doing the top 10. It's all about whom is around me. To be completely honest, I'm not going to bite more than I chew, and I'm not going to fight out of my pay bracket. So, boom. I'm down to fight anyone, though, for the most part. There's a couple of fights in the works that we're kind of seeing. It's really just a shuffling of seeing who's there. So from The Emperor Rises, if you could book one dream fight, what would it be? Now, I think if it was a dream fight, it'd be amazing to fight someone like, past and present, like Anderson Silva. Like, I got to train with him once in Brazil, and that was when he was at the height of his aura. And I was just standing there and just hit me in the head like 10 times. I was also only 4-0 and whatever, bum. But I was like kind of pushing around some of his training partners in training. So he was like, come here, kid. No, it's, and then if you had to describe your ultimate fighter experience with one word, what would it be? Ultimate? No, to expand on that, I don't think I could put it in one word. It was an amazing experience to share a 7-week moment. That's how long it is. I'm in there for 7 weeks, trapped with 15 other like-minded knuckleheads who are striving for the same goal. I was lucky to be the one that got my hand raised at the very end and got the contract, and it was an amazing experience. And who would have thought that's almost 3 years now? When your contract is up, will you see what's being offered, or do you plan on dealing exclusively with the UFC? I want to be in the UFC, but with that being said, obviously, you'd be a fool not to see what your worth is. I think what I offer to the table that's different than most is the ability to be more than a fighter. I have 2 TV show and a movie in the works, like I said, and I already have a couple of sit-down meetings with some of the top stunt coordinators in Canada. That's where many movies are made. I've passed up many different TV shows and movies because I wanted to put my fighting first. So, as soon as I kick ass, hoping December 10th, Toronto, then I can see where everything lies. The contract, I think it's up next year at some point. Next question. Did anything surprise you about Tough? Do strangers recognize you and ask you for autographs? If you could fight anyone at any weight, who would it be and why? How do you eat your green beans? Canned, frozen, or raw? I love it raw, like Shark Week. Wait, what? I don't get canned beans. I have a great sponsor called Feel Foods, and their delivery service. They basically package up all my food for me, so it takes the thinking and time out of it, which is amazing. Anything surprise me with Tough? Not how much I would like it. Some people were kind of bummed out, but I guarantee you, looking back, as long as they get knocked the fuck out, they're pretty pumped about it. Do strangers recognize you? Yeah, they do. Not only for fighting, but also I've been on The Amazing Race, Match Game like we talked about. I've done a couple of TV shows here and there. I have a decent sized following in regards to social media on Toronto. So I bump up on people's feeds all the time, and I look like a Disney character. So whether it's dudes that watch me fight, whether it's chicks that watch me on read me on romance novels, or someone's kid who watched me in the latest Disney. People recognize me. And yeah, never eat something canned. Next question. What are your picks for UFC 203? As you can see, I have not done this video when we were supposed to. I am going to cheat and say I'm going to pick Stipe as the champion, continuing champion. For Doom will beat Brown. And CM Punk will give it a A for effort. I think it's going to be an A for effort. Why are Canadians so much friendlier than Americans? I think, in many ways, I don't think necessarily that we're nicer. It's just there's less. There's less of us. It's like everything's to the extreme when it's by the decimal of 10. So if, let's say if there's 35 million Canadians, there's 350 million Americans. It's just what there's probably like 1 million bad people in Canada, and you just multiply that by 10. So it just seems like more, and unfortunately, with your news cycle and just in general, anything, person with the loudest voice always yells loudest, and the rest of us kind of just like, what? And we'll just keep to ourselves. So usually the loudest one in the room is why someone's so extreme, and why someone can seem not as nice. Next question. Did winning the Ultimate Fighter have an impact on your personal life? No, not at all. Are girls throwing themselves at you now? Don't be modest. It was never a problem before. Now you're on TV, and they assume you got money. Nah, it's called. And then with that being said, no, I'm humbly taken. I don't know why I did that. I got nervous, awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands. Oh, gotta jump back. What are your future plans with training-wise? Any gyms, camps you have your eyes on? Go fighter, in my opinion. Obviously, Anderson Silva. What do you think? What do you look forward to fighting who do you look forward to fighting in the future? Thanks for hanging out with us for a while and giving us your time. My pleasure. Sorry it took longer than I expected. Like you saw the couple questions earlier, where this was supposed to be done around UFC 203. It's just I've been so busy. I bounced between Toronto and Montreal. I train at TriStar and also Titans Academy. Got my gyms back home. Rivals MMA gym. Bang Fitness for my strength and conditioning. And Burlington Training Center. So I bounce around. But I still have a core team, both home and here. And I still want to train all over the world. I want to go back to Brazil. I want to go back to Thailand. I want to go to Holland. I want to fighter journey. That's what I got in this for. Again, my pleasure. Next one from Tang. Elias, do you feel... who do you feel is the guy to fight that can take you into the higher echelons of the UFC? How do you feel you match up with that fighter? There's great guys. Again, there's many. You got to see where the chips fall. Derek Brunson's a great fighter, but he's ahead. He's fighting also Robert Whittaker. There's a couple of guys in the top 10 mix, but there's also some good guys like Krzysztof Jotko, who just had a wicked knockout from McSweeney is his name? I can't remember his name. I'm going brain dead right now. Don't get hit in the head, kids. No, and then there's also the C again. Even though both fighters have a loss, that are going in and having a loss. Marquardt, if he wins that fight, I would love to fight Nate Marquardt. He's about like top 15 kind of thing. He's just like again, it's one of those names that I always want. Like, it's one of those names you always, like, I have nothing but respect for him, and it'd be an honor to fight him. Even if one might say he's technically a little past his prime. Also, one of my opponents, the one that beat me, it would be amazing to fight him again in the near future. I think I lost that fight. He didn't win it. But again, I'm not going to chase him, because then that just doesn't mean I learned anything from it. It's the first bad day at work. And I'm excited to go forward and keep kicking ass. And then from Awkward Titan, what are your thoughts on Tyron Woodley as a champion? Do you like or agree with his comments on money fights, even when he wanted the rankings to come first, when he said he was in line? Of course, it's his prerogative, right? Like, It's like, no, that's not fair. It doesn't suit me. Oh, it's not fair. It's me. Whatever. All the power to him. Everyone's got to do what they got to do. I like Tyron Woodley. I've had the chance to meet him a couple times, and he's a sweetheart, man. He's a really nice dude. I can tell you that. Him and his wife I met them both. They're amazing people. With that being said, his opponent, Wonder Boy, is also an amazing dude. So I'm looking forward to a great fight. I hope no one gets injured. I hope it's an amazing fight, and I wish nothing but the West. I want them both to get paid. Completely. I think all fighters should get paid. And then again from another one, Wild once again, thank you. Been powerful Wild. Thanks again for being so generous with your time and agreeing to do this Q&A with us. We greatly appreciate it and consider you a friend of the community. What's up, team? Go fam. Hope you enjoy the t-shirts we'll be sending your way. Much love, guys. Again, Spartan out. You can follow me. I'll be doing the live tweeting as per usual. At Elias Theodorou on the Twitter twat. Sorry, I said that. I've been doing like an hour of this now. But no, it's been a good time. I appreciate, again, you guys following my journey, giving a shit about me in any general compassion. Like we talked about the idea of people recognizing me. I'm honestly blown away and completely humbled whenever someone comes up to me and says, good luck on your journey. They like me as a fighter, or they think I'm hilarious. But with that being said, it's been my pleasure. You guys can follow me on social media at Elias Theodorou on Twitter and Instagram. Ladies or gentlemen, the shirt comes off on the Instagram. And then I just stuck a lot of shit on the Twitter. So it's just funny because I can see my face and I don't take myself serious because I'm a big man child. And at least with the Twitter, I can hide behind a keyboard. Ha! The toughest keyboard warrior you ever met. With that, I'm going to ramble too much, but thank you again for allowing me to give you my time. Start now.